it's just there, but it's not the same with drugs. We've had someone defecate in the main entry of our building. We've had people come into the business during business hours and try to pocket the supplements that we carry and walk out. We've had to call the police on numerous occasions after someone strung out on drugs has come into our premises, scaring both our staff and clients. We've had a trespassing order issued against an individual that repeatedly enters our premises. The police have been awesome at trying to help us. On a side note, we were asked to let this individual linger in our premises so that he could be arrested. This is not conducive to our staff's or clients' mental health or safety. We've hid our bathroom keys. We called the police because someone passed out on the bench in the building and randomly woke up screaming and flailing, only to fall back asleep to repeat this process. We've witnessed a person on drugs freaking out, yelling and slamming a bag repeatedly into the ground along the street. And we have had drug needles and paraphernalia littering the entryway. Our staff are fearful on a daily basis. We employ 30 people. To mitigate this, we've had to hire extra front-end persons, so we always have 2 staff members at our front desk at any given time. We've had to implement safety rules of never leaving the building unless you're with a buddy. We've had to call the RCMP and then come up with a plan when we're in the middle of a situation. There are extra building cleaning costs associated. Our public costs are going up due to an increased need for security and policing, and also because viable tax-paying businesses are relocating out of our downtown core. As contributing members to our community who pay taxes, who agree in a hand up and helping people, and who employ 30 people who are also tax-paying members of our community, we wonder why illegal activity is not only being allowed, but supported. Consuming illegal drugs is illegal, as is the action of theft. How often do we all see carts piled high with the stuff that would not have originally or legally belonged to these people? We're not only business owners, but also parents of 4 kids. Our kids play man tracker in the woods. The schools bus them to the woods, where there is drug paraphernalia everywhere. Our son won't go in our backyard and we live in one of the safer neighborhoods in town, because he's afraid to take the garbage to the backyard because our sheds are getting broken into, so that people can get propane and gas. Illegal activity should not be allowed in any manner. Enabling rather than helping these people to clean up is not okay. Business is being impacted by what's going on by downtown. What you offer is what you bring. We believe in a hand up and support, but not in enabling illegal activity.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Sean. I'm also a business owner downtown. I'm in the Park Plaza Professional Center. We've been downtown either on Ross Street or across the parking lot for 20 years. And to say that things were totally different before we had all the services, or were the same before we had all the services, is not accurate at all. What has happened over the past decade, and certainly over the last 3 years, is considerable. I have the best landlord on the planet. I've got excellent rent for downtown, and we're having to look at much more expensive property outside of the downtown core because my clients are not comfortable coming to my business. My staff aren't comfortable working at my business. Cars are broken into regularly. Same thing, we have a locked bathroom on site and we regularly find drug paraphernalia in there. So to say things are the same, it's simply not accurate. More importantly than that, in my other world, I'm a foster parent. I've raised 19 kids through the foster system. 2 of them are on the street in Red Deer dealing with addictions. I do think I will bury both of them. Both of them have abandoned children with me that my daughter is raising. One of them now, she was pre- and postnatally exposed to methamphetamines. I don't want to continue to be in business. I'm getting old. I can't keep raising these kids. All my kids came to me because of addictions on the part of the parents, all of them. And that's pretty common for the system. My kids are going to live forever with the results of their parents' addiction. They didn't cause that. They didn't ask for that. To keep people alive with no supports, no services, to help them get over their addiction, I don't understand the purpose. You're simply perpetuating the next generation, and there'll be more and more of them. I implore you, please, as a foster parent who loves these kids, I walk the walk. I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. I take them home and I raise them. Put the money into mental health, housing, and detox. We don't need any more Band-Aid solutions. To perpetuate misery. And if you feel you're saving lives, you and I have a great discrepancy over what living is, because what my loved ones are doing on the street is not living. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Go down a rebel way, and being a mother on the other side, I know what it feels like. Every time you hear a siren go and you don't know if you're gonna get a call, if that's gonna be your child or not. The thing is I phone the cops a lot. I think I've probably got a file this thick of times that I see things happening suspicious. And sometimes I'll wait there till the cops show up. Like last night I did that, because somebody stashed something and I didn't know if it was drug related, because I was somewhere, I thought I was safe in town, and another situation, I witnessed a drug exchange, and when I went to the other side and they seen me, and then when I got to the lights, I knew the guy when they took off down Dalburn Road. I knew when this guy was coming back. They were driving posh vehicles, and when he met me at the intersection, I knew I was going to be followed. And the first thing I was going to do is go straight to the RCMP, stay on the main street, because if something's going to happen, then there'll be people passing by, hopefully. But anyhow, as I went to the one first light, it was amber, so what I chose to do is I did a right turn. I did a quick U-turn. He did a quick U-turn. I came back out onto the road. He did the same thing. I went to the next light, proceeded through. Unfortunately, I didn't know that there was, or fortunately, I didn't know that there was a fire station there, so my choice is to drive right into the fire station area and talk to the firemen that were there, and said that this vehicle was following me. I did phone the RCMP, reported it, and I reported to the city too, because it was in a city property. And but anyhow, I have witnessed a lot of things, like I call them hot spots, hotels where they're taking goods into the hotels, storage units in and out. I have phoned the RCMP on that. You know, I think the best thing is rehab. If you're, you know, if you've got your problems, you need to help them fix it. I know they have to be ready to change. I know that was with my son. He had to be ready to change, right? And I know the misery that I went through with his change in his body and stuff like that, his addictions and stuff. I think people, when they're in rehab, they need to have staff that has had experience, not from a textbook, but actually experience from a loved one, or you know, something like that, or a close friend that has went through it, not like through textbook. Also,
just to let you know your time.
Oh, I'm up. Okay, well.
But if you want to finish your sentence, you're welcome to.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, you know, I've seen so much stuff, and I've overheard individuals saying that they can't go somewhere because their cart is full of metal in there, so he can't go somewhere else. And I was sitting at another table overhearing the conversation, so we know that this stuff is going on, and needles. And also, I was gonna tell you, when my son came through here a couple months ago, he doesn't live here, unfortunately. I don't get to see him that often because he won't come back this way. But he went through the parks walking, and he said this place is a dive and he won't be here. He's not even in province anymore.
Okay.
So I'm just letting you know.
Thank you so much.
My name is Robert Bonin. I had a speech all prepped out. Unfortunately, 2 hours ago, my vehicle was broken in front of Paragolis. I found the binder a block down the street in the rain with everything trashed in it. So we'll just start there. This isn't working. It's not working. We do need a proper treatment center. The young lady that's spoke to ago there, saying, we do need to put them all in a facility. Anyone that needs help, okay? Anyone that needs help, they need it in a facility. Giving them a safe injection site and saying, see you later, it's okay. It's not our problem. We gave you your Narcon, we recovered you and send you on the street. But they have turned our streets into a commodity. Our vehicles, our homes, our businesses, we can't put like the gnomes, we can't put them in our gardens out front anymore. We can't put a moonlight out anymore. People are locking up their gates, and it looks like a correctional facility now if you go to any industrial area. I have the U-Haul down in Riverside. We just put correctional fencing around it for $18,000 to $20,000, and we had to put another $6,000 in lighting. And unfortunately, the gentleman at Red Deer Windows and Doors, before the gate got put on the other day, his truck got smashed. And what did they do? They just trashed it. They don't care. And anybody here that doesn't think that I know what I'm talking about, or that I can't empathize, my younger brother, his son, has been dealing with a meth addiction for 8 years. If anybody in this room that reads the paper doesn't know who Quinn Peterson is, you got your heads up your asses, pardon me. The young man, safest place for him is in jail right now because there is not a facility to care for him. Saying, oh, we'll just give him an injection and send on their way, or the complete irresponsibility of the needle exchange. Anyone here that follows me on Facebook, last year, we found out that the needle exchange gives up to 500 needles to each individual that comes in the door. They call it a sleeve. I guess that's a better way to call it, a sleeve of needles rather than 500. What does one drug user need with 500 needles in a day? The millions of needles that are out there and they're only recovering, and excuse me if I'm correct on my percentages, I've heard reports from 15 to 25%, so we can have up to 75% of these sleeves in our lakes, rivers, and parks. It's irresponsible, and they know it. When I approached them and asked about it, no comment. About a month later, they finally released this, well, yeah, in our brochure, we're allowed to give out to 500 needles. That doesn't even make sense to anybody in this room. And I challenge anyone in the group out there that supports this, tell me what one guy needs with 500 needles. One guy. There's no sense to it. It's not working. Now, Quinn Peterson, the young man, he's out of jail now. I feel bad because every day I look at the clock, I says, is my brother going to get a phone call that he was shot while he was trying to steal a truck to get more meth? The situation's not working. We need to take the money that's being funneled into these programs and get a proper facility, and if it has to be court ordered, make it court ordered. Put them where they need to be to get the help they need and reintroduce them into society. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My name is Gail. I've been a business owner in downtown Red Deer for going on to 42 years. We have seen a lot of changes. The downtown core has gone through ups and downs. It was really well there a while ago, and now it's going down something drastically. We have never before worried about leaving work in pairs and coming in pairs, never being alone. Now, as a retail store, we have a locked door. You'll come to our store, we'll look at you and try and figure out if you're there to shop, taste the joy, or cause us problems. And if we like you, we'll bus you in. We have to. We had people come up with baseball bats to the door, pull the door, but we had locked 5 minutes early. That's what saved my daughter. Drugs are horrible? Absolutely. People die? You bet. I lost my son to fentanyl. I have another son and a daughter working with me. My second son was beaten up in front of 111 by drug addicts. I have to lock my store now to protect my son and my daughter from this. I don't want to lose any more people. Something's got to be done in downtown. It's horrible. Our condo association, the solution for all the needles, they passed us out envelopes so we can go gather them ourselves. We have a kids' swimming pool out the back of our store that the city paid horrendous money to put there. They can't put water in it anymore because they'd have to drain it every day and pick out all the needles. This is not good. I don't know what you can do or where you can do it, but where it's at, it's not working downtown.
We have one.
It has destroyed downtown.